Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my WWE Clash in Italy predictions video. Once again, like every single pay-per-view seems to be nowadays, it is 5 matches. So I'm going to go and run down those 5 matches, who I think is going to win, where I think it's going to go from there, and just what I think of the overall show and what I actually think is going to go down. So without further ado, let us go ahead and get right into it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the first matchup of the night is going to be what is going to be confirmed to be the opener. It is the WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes, the current undisputed champion, and Gunther. Now, I have really gone back and forth on who I think is going to win this matchup, and I really don't know, to be honest. Like, I'm sitting here right now, Clash in Italy is tomorrow at 2. It's roughly 6 p.m. the night before. I'm about to go with a bunch of people and watch the El Grande Americano match. But as of right now, for the World Championship match, I still really can't tell you. So I'm just going to go with my gut feeling, and I am going to say Gunther. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm going to say Gunther. There's too many people gunning after Cody. There's Sammy. There's Randy. There's just too many other things. I think Gunther needs to win this match, and it'll kind of show that every single time Paul Heyman gives a favor, it ends up benefiting them. Like, obviously, Punk at WrestleMania last year getting Heyman in his corner. I think Cody Rhodes is going to lose here. I don't really know what it is. I hope that I'm right, and I'm going to go ahead and put the world title right here on Gunther. I don't think he needs to be the career killer anymore. I think he needs to once again go for materialistic things, which would be, of course, the World Championship. Now, if he does win the title, there's a lot of opportunities to give it back to Cody. I've heard a lot of people wanting Drew McIntyre to return and screw Cody. I don't think that's going to happen. I think this is going to be a clean match with the exception of maybe Randy and or Sammy. Even if Gunther can lose it back to Cody, I feel like Gunther needs to win this year. Like, he doesn't need to, but at the end of the day, I do think he's going to win. I hope he wins. And I kind of hope, the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to be Cody, but I'm going to stick with my gut and say Gunther. I feel like he should win this. I'm just getting sick of Cody, man, to be honest. But yeah, I'm going to go to predict that Gunther is going to win the WWE Championship at Clash in Italy. The next matchup is for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. It is a rematch. I'm getting this real big feeling of deja vu. It's not like we didn't cover this exact match last weekend, but here we are again. I predicted Sol Ruca to win last weekend, and that win might be the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Ref literally gets taken out 50 times for a single Roman Reigns match, but, Sol Ruca accidentally hits a finisher and Becky Lynch is disqualified, whatever. But anyhow, though, ladies and gentlemen, now that we are going to go ahead and get into this, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I said last time. Becky Lynch is going to drop the Women's Intercontinental title to Sol Ruca, and I feel like she definitely needs to do it now. Sol Ruca legitimately lost to Io Sky as well as Liv Morgan. She's lost to both of them. She only beat Becky by DQ, and I feel like if she can, hold the belt there, I feel like she should win. Not only should she win, but I feel like she needs to win. Sol Ruca deserves this, and, obviously, I guess she's only been on the main roster for a little bit, but she's going to be the workhorse champion. I have a feeling she's going to be the female version of Penta, having bangers with the likes of Io Sky, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and probably Bayley and Lyra. And to be honest, I'm all for it. I want to see Sol Ruca win the Women's Intercontinental title. I want to see her go on to, heck, even give her a 6-month reign with the thing. It seems like everybody else, wins it from Becky and then loses it back really quickly. Just take somebody like Maxine Dupree or AJ Lee. I want to see Sol hold it for a while, so I'm going to go and predict Sol Ruca wins the Women's Intercontinental title from Becky Lynch, moves on to be a great fighting champion, and maybe drops it to, I'd like to see Roxanne Perez. I'll say she's going to win it, and maybe in 4 or 5 months' time, lose it to Roxanne Perez, but that's for a future video. As of right now, though, I am just going to predict that she does win the Women's Intercontinental title, and most likely moves on from Becky Lynch. The next match up is another rematch. It feels like all these matches have just happened within the past month, but it is a WrestleMania rematch, and it is Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. Now, this one is another one I've kind of teetered on. There's been 3 matches that I've teetered on. All 3 men's matches I've kind of teetered back and forth because something tells me that this is going to be a trilogy, and we are going to get the 3rd match between these two at SummerSlam. Now, I feel like this has to go with Lesnar winning. Unfortunately, I feel like Lesnar has to beat Oba here in order for them to get the trilogy, which I really feel like could kill Oba Femi's momentum unless Oba Femi genuinely kills Brock Lesnar in 10 seconds at SummerSlam. I don't really know because there have been some trilogies that have just gone completely one-sided. Take Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes from a couple years ago. But at the same time, I also think of the Cody Rhodes-Brock Lesnar feud from a couple years ago, where Lesnar did take the second one after losing to Cody. And I'm really on the fence here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have a feeling I'm putting out some crazy takes later in this video. So for right now, I'm going to say Brock Lesnar beats Obafemi. I don't know how. I don't know if it's Heyman. I don't know if it's the Vision. I don't know if he just beats him clean, or if they do something like a disqualification finish, just some way. So this matchup, because I don't think they can validate Lesnar challenging Femi again at SummerSlam. I mean, they could. Trust me, I would love to see Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar in his literal last 3 ever singles matches, but I just don't see it happening. I think Lesnar has to win at least one. I believe they're not putting this on the first hour. They might. So I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as the WrestleMania match. Something tells me if they do have their rubber match at SummerSlam, this one will most likely be the forgotten one. You never know, though. But anyhow, I am going to go to predict that Brock Lesnar does win. He does move on, most likely just to do Obafemi again. Like, he'll probably leave. I doubt he's going to show up to Night of Champions. He might. It's in Saudi. I don't really know what he would do, but I'm going to predict that Lesnar wins, and most likely his last match is to Obafemi at SummerSlam in Minneapolis. So, yeah, I'm going to go and predict that Lesnar does beat the ruler here. Next up is another WrestleMania rematch. It is for the WWE Women's World Championship, I believe the WWE Women's Championship. It is Rhea Ripley defending against Jade Cargill, and like I said, another WrestleMania rematch. I kind of predicted exactly how this was going to go last week when I gave my Saturday Night's Main Event predictions video, where I said that Jade was going to pin Rhea on the 6th woman, and we were going to get to this match, and Rhea was most likely going to retain, and I'm still going to stand by that. I think Rhea Ripley's going to retain here. Most likely, Michin and B-Fab are going to try and get involved, and Charlotte and maybe Alexa, because they did say Alexa was beaten up last night. They could do their angle where Charlotte accidentally cost Rhea. I guess what I'm going to get at here is that either way, it's going to be Rhea versus Charlotte, I have a feeling, at SummerSlam. And I'll go and give my 2 possibilities here. If Jade somehow wins, it'll be because Charlotte accidentally costs her, and they just have a match at SummerSlam. Similarly to, I don't know if WWE's done any women's matches at SummerSlam that haven't been for titles. I can't think of one off the top of my head recently. But if Charlotte does accidentally cost Rhea, which I don't think is going to happen here, they're going to do the match either way. But what I think is going to happen is Rhea's going to retain here. So I'm going to knock Jade down, put Rhea in the middle. I think Rhea's going to retain here. I believe that Charlotte is going to win the Queen of the Ring, and she is going to be the one to maybe not take the title from Rhea, but at least fight Rhea at SummerSlam. You guys can come back to this video right before SummerSlam. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but I am going to go and predict that Rhea Ripley does retain here. Hopefully finally moves off of Jade Cargill. Like, I really hope she doesn't lose it back to Jade. There's so much Rhea can do with Charlexa, with Fatal Influence, with pretty much everything. I hope JC Jane also doesn't get pushed aside out of the women's world title scene, but we're not talking about JC Jane right now. We are talking about Rhea Ripley, and I do think that she is going to retain the WWE Women's Championship over Jade Cargill. And then, ladies and gentlemen, what will be the main event of Clash in Italy? It is going to be Tribal Combat. Jacob Fatu challenging Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, going into this one, I was 100% positive it was going to be Jacob. I mean, Roman isn't advertised for Night of Champions. He's been advertised for much of June. So I don't think that Jacob Fatu, wouldn't have been a bad choice to take the title off Roman. But the more I look at it now, the more I do think Roman Reigns is going to retain. Just because of the fact, I mean, like, there's that, what do I want to say here? The ever-looming match between Seth freaking Rollins and Roman Reigns that I do think possibly could happen at SummerSlam. So I am going to go and predict Roman here. I really don't have a good reason. I'm just confident that Roman Reigns is going to find a way to retain, possibly with Zilla Fatu, the Usos, possibly Drew McIntyre. I really don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I am going to go in and say that Roman Reigns does walk out here with the victory. He's going to retain against Jacob Fatu, and most likely just go on a little bit of a hiatus. Fatu will probably feud with, like, Jay, maybe Jimmy. LA Knight's kind of in the mix there, but I don't think he's going to do much. However, I am going to go in and predict that Roman Reigns does retain here. I am kind of zooming through this a little bit because I am starting to run into a bit of time before the El Grande Americano match. However, guys, I am going to go and predict that Roman Reigns does end up retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. But yes, guys, this has been my WWE Clash in Italy predictions. To quickly run them back by real quick, Sol Ruca to win the Women's Intercontinental title, Gunther to win the World title, Rhea Ripley to retain her Women's World title, Lesnar to beat Obafemi, and Roman Reigns to retain his world title. Now, guys, if you want to go ahead and leave your predictions down in the comments below, I will go in and look at them later. But yeah, guys, this is my predictions. Go ahead and let me know what you think of them. Go ahead and give me yours in the comments below. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe. I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.